So I've come to the realization that there's a whole lot of African Americans and some Caribbeans who are wishing to see Africa or visit Africa for the first time in their entire life, but has this phobia to visit Africa. Why? Because of a whole lot of scenes they keep showing them in America and the Caribbean and other parts of the world about Africa. So because of that, some are in a state of dilemma whether to stay back or to make that bold move to come see Africa for the first time. While some are also skeptical, don't know whether to stay back or to make the move. So in today's video, I just want us to listen to Michael J. White, a Hollywood movie star who visited Africa, and to him that changed his life and his perception about Africa. He chose no other country but Ghana, the gateway to Africa. But before we get into the interview, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and don't forget to on your notification buttons. So anytime I publish a video, you're going to get a notification straight up. I know some might be new to Michael J. White and be wondering, who is this guy? Well, Michael J. White is a Hollywood movie star. I'm sure you probably have watched a whole lot of movie of his, but you haven't kind of like taken notice of his character and all that. So this is Michael J. White. Michael J. White is a Hollywood movie star, like I said, and very known, very popular worldwide. And Michael J. White have starred in a whole lot of movies. Movies like The Island, movies like Never Back Down, movies like Welcome to Sudden Death, movies like Falcon Rising, and Take Back, just to mention a few. He has done a whole lot of movies. He was also having that kind of phobia to visit Africa. But one day, he just decided to make that bold step to come, take the risk, see Africa for the first time. And guess what? He found his way into Ghana. So to him, he was just in Ghana to visit, to see how Ghana really looks like, how Africa looks like. But to his surprise, he was crowned a king in the eastern region. And he was really surprised. Let's go have a look at his coronation when he was crowned a chief in Ghana.
And that is Michael J. White. 1, get up. 2, get up. And finally, put to pound. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living here with Ando Dupont and Ando Dupont. I can see Otenehu Kofu Akoto III, our king. You are now traditionally clothed, and now you are home. We can identify you by your cloth.
So this is his coronation when he visited Ghana 5 years ago. And since then, he hasn't stopped talking about Ghana. And he was recently in an interview talking about Ghana and was sharing how surprised and how wonderful he felt when he visited Africa, Ghana, for the first time. So let's go watch the interview and hear what he had to say about Ghana.
But yeah, one thing I wanted to say, man, is like I saw Aries, and let me tell you, man, I got to be. I'm almost a member in the Church of Aries Spears. The brother. I really agree with most of what he says.
Yeah, me too.
And I think it was very heroic of him to put himself out like that. And a lot of there's some things I don't agree with. One of the things that I disagree with. Oh, and by the way, he and I dated the same woman at one time.
Oh.
But let him tell you that story. It's far funnier if he tells it to you.
Okay.
Remind him. But anyway, One thing that Aries says, and I used to agree with Aries and Smokey Robinson on this, is that I was so proud to be a Black American, right? I didn't feel the need to say African American. I felt exactly how they did. I'd been to several countries in Africa and felt like, I was in, I went to Congo, I went to Djibouti, Rwanda, Nairobi, Kenya, South Africa. I was been in a lot of those places, and I'm going, hey, Black American, I'm proud. We've accomplished a great deal. Do they really feel like we're connected with? Until I went to Ghana. Everything changed. Like what happened was I found out, I got roots in Ghana. That's my lineage. But I'm not one of those people who just like is going to get on the bandwagon. I'm back in Mother Africa and all this type of stuff. But one thing that occurred to me is think about if you run into an Asian dude on the street and you say, well, where are you from? And he says, I'm from Cleveland. My people are from Cleveland. You'd be like, that's not right. Where are you from? No, Cleveland. It's stupid, right? It's silly to think that man's beginnings were from Cleveland. There's more to this story. It's exactly the same for us, for me. When I would say South Carolina and Louisiana, because my mother was from South Carolina, my father was from Louisiana, that's, even if I didn't know what lineage I had, that's part of the story. Just as much as the Asian dude. When I think, oh shit, I'm thinking the beginning of who I am is a slave. Deal with that for a second. I think my beginnings of my historical background started in South Carolina and fucking Louisiana. What do you think that does to my psyche? Think about it for a second.
That's a good point.
And the fact that I knew that there was a bigger trek that started in Ghana, and believe me, I'm not one of those that like, I want to hold on to mother. No, I was cool being a Black American and very proud of it. But damn it, I realized that me telling myself that South Carolina was enough, oh, that's some bullshit. For me, I can only speak for me. But when I went back and the way I felt, man, I wish this for anybody Black living in this country. I think you free yourself and you see yourself in a different way even if you say, which I think the right answer is, when somebody says, where are you from? And you go, I actually don't know where my historical African roots are, but my great-grandfather was from North Carolina or whatever. That frees you to know that there's more to your story. Mm. But when I learned about Ghana and when I went back there, it felt different from every place else because I felt like, oh shoot, when I landed in Ghana and I looked around, I'm like, yo, if you put a Nike shirt on this cat right there, he looks like he could be walking right on Ventura. And I clearly saw where the slaves came from because I'm going, these look exactly like American Black people right now. And in Benin and places like that. Well, when I'm in Eritrea and places like that, I stick out like a sore thumb. He's like, yeah, hey, where's this big Black American? Oh, he's right there. I would stand out like a sore thumb. And you realize that's where you got these big old strapping Black folks from. And to know that we weren't slaves, man. We were absolutely talented farmers and technical people, because that was the industry in Africa. You had to know how to farm. They kidnapped successful working people to build the country.
Yeah.
But psychologically, slaves is the term. Okay, and believe me, I'm not that cat that's like, yes, I'm not this dude. I'm not that guy because there's not something in me that feels like something's missing, and I got to put that in there. Till I realized, and I went there, I can never look at myself the same. And oh my goodness, like I said, I wish that for everybody to find out. And it's not on some, new age shit. It's just, the truth.
Well, did you hear there was an interview with Richard Pryor that he did a long time ago?
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, exactly. When he stops using the N-word.
There you go. I'd rather you say it than me.
Yeah. You can say N-word, that's okay. I'm saying N-word.
Right. I'd rather you just tell the whole story.
Yeah, but of course.
It was basically...
He was the biggest proponent. He put that word on the map more than any human being in our society.
Right.
Then learned there's no such word.
Right. When he went to Africa...
Yeah, he went to such word and he says,
and they say,
are there any N-words here? And he says, and he realized there isn't any.
Yeah, all I see is beautiful black people.
Yeah.
And
when you think about it, like, okay, what Africans have you met? Okay. The majority of the Africans that I meet are like scientists and doctors and I've been to like 9 to 12 countries in Africa. And one thing I learned is that everybody talks like this. And they talk this way. And I'm like, what? Realizing we loud as hell. We are loud as hell in comparison, man. Everybody's genteel in the way that they speak, and it's very educated. And, of course, we've been sold a bill of goods about what Africa is. But I've been, ever since being out there, I'm making partnerships with companies in Africa for film and TV, and I'm trying to bring everybody to that. I want to build this bridge because, there's international movies. I didn't know, bro, till I went to Africa, how famous I was out there. I had no clue. I'm like, me and my wife are getting to this hotel and there's a big festival going on. And I'm like, man, they got some big ass festival going on. How do we get around this? I'm going to, get inside and wash up, come out the car and realize the festival's for me. And I got people throwing stuff around me. I'm like, whoa. And, I come out the slave castle one day and I get lifted up by the crowd and passed along the crowd, like the crowd surfing thing. And I'm like, yo, like, I didn't know, but people, because I do movies where it uplifts, it empowers other folks. I don't think about every day of my life, I don't think about me as a celebrity, right? I'm just me, right? I like just being me, I don't want all that attention anyway. But I forget what it looks like in the eyes of a young African child or people in the Caribbean who they've taken movies of mine and the DVDs and projected them in theaters. I didn't know this. And I go to these different countries and they are bereft of a person that looks like me defeating the conqueror in movies. It means a lot to them. But I don't want to be the last one that's doing that. Action movies sell worldwide, and that's what I'm about. And and the idea of putting movies together and connecting, the diaspora to films, like using their talent, and we're making these world movies. That's my jam, and I'm really excited about that. I hope everybody else starts putting Africa on their schedule.
Well, I've been thinking about this, and I came up with the $1 billion movie idea.
Uh-huh.
You ready to hear this?
Yep.
You have the outlaw Johnny Black.
Uh-huh.
We should do a spin-off starring me. We call it The Law-Abiding Johnny White.
The Law-Abiding Johnny White.
That's right.
People are listening.
Right.
Okay.
And the outlaw Johnny Black, the law-abiding Johnny White. I'm your arch nemesis. What do you think?
I'm gonna get back to you on that one. Yeah, I gotta digest that one for a minute.
Hey man, listen. You miss every hit you don't take.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I gotta throw it out
Yeah,
there.
I
The
thought you were gonna come out
law-abiding
with
Johnny White.
I thought you were gonna come out with some white dynamite type of thing.
White dynamite. Oh, there we go. White dynamite. There you go.
Yeah.
So I guess you heard everything he said. So if you're an African American or a Caribbean out there and wants to make the move, visiting Ghana for the very first time, trust me, you have nothing to fear. You have nothing to worry about. Come on, book the flight, come over, come to Ghana, come see for yourself. Michael J. White was skeptical also, but guess what? He made the move and realized he has been lied to his entire life. So don't be out there thinking Africa is what you see on the TV all the time, on the national television. Make that bold move. Come see Africa for the first time. Well, I'm in Ghana, so I can say you can come over to Ghana. At least Ghana can be a starting point while you move to other African countries to experience Africa for yourself. So all I can do right now is to encourage you to pick up your bags, book the flight, come visit Africa, come visit Ghana and other African countries, and get to experience what you have never experienced ever in your life. Conquer that phobia, conquer that fear. Try, just give it a try. Come over, and trust me, you're not going to regret it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.